Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever felt like you're just, running in place, trying to hit your goals, whether that's learning a new language or just feeling a little less chaotic, then you are definitely in the right place.
Yeah, today we're talking about something we all do, but maybe don't think about enough. Daily habits.
We tend to think of them as, I don't know, boring things,
Right.
brushing your teeth, making breakfast.
Exactly. But the research we've looked at is so clear on this. These tiny repetitive actions, they're not just tasks on a list. They are literally the building blocks of who you are. They're monumental.
That's the core of this whole deep dive, right? Our mission today is to pull out the most powerful and honestly some pretty surprising strategies, both psychological and practical.
And these are things that will help you maximize your efficiency, your learning, everything. For you listening, this could be about finally getting a handle on English.
Or just get in control of your week. The main idea is this. If you can master your day, you start to master your life.
It sounds huge, I know. But it all starts with engineering something incredibly small. We're going to give you the blueprint for that, for starting a chain reaction of success.
Okay, let's get right into it with the morning blueprint. Because those first few minutes of the day are so critical, and the sources all point to what they call the first habit trap.
We all know what it is.
Oh yeah, the alarm goes off, and what's the first thing you do? You grab your phone.
Hmm.
But wait, I have to push back on that a little bit because for so many of us, the phone is the alarm. Or you genuinely need to check for an urgent work email. How do you deal with that reality?
That's a great point. And the trap isn't the phone itself, not really. It's the immediate flood of information and other people's demands.
The news, social media, the inbox.
Right. The research shows it instantly shifts your brain from a state of rest into a state of reaction. You're already stressed before your feet even hit the floor.
So the key isn't to throw your phone out the window. It's to be more intentional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to create a buffer, a deliberate pause. And the strategy is actually perfect for language practice. It's simple. Sit up, slowly, take 3 really deep breaths,
Okay.
and then say something positive out loud in English.
So something like, today is going to be a great day, or I am ready for this.
Yes. You immediately engage the language and you define your own focus
Yeah.
before the world can define it for you. It's a tiny shift, but it changes everything.
And you can expand on that, right, with the language of the routine itself.
You should. Instead of just learning object names, you need the verbs for the actions. Things like, I stretch my arms and legs, or I drink a glass of water.
Which, by the way, that simple act of hydrating right away is so important for waking up your brain. We all forget that.
We do, and we also forget to eat. I mean, let's talk about breakfast for a second. Skipping it isn't saving you time.
No, you're basically taking out a loan on your energy that you're going to have to pay back later with, brain fog and that afternoon crash.
Right. We need to fuel the engine. And it's useful to know the phrases for it, too. Like maybe you need a grab-and-go breakfast, or you're eating on the run.
That's much more useful than just knowing the word for toast or cereal.
It's about describing your actual life. Now, before we leave the morning, there's that one tiny habit that seems almost trivial.
Making your bed.
Making your bed.
Yeah.
Fixing the sheets and blankets. Why is that so important?
It seems so small, almost silly.
Because it's the definition of a small success. It's one task. You do it, you complete it, and your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. You feel accomplished.
It's a quick win.
It's a quick win, and it starts that chain reaction we were talking about. You've just proven to yourself, I'm a person who finishes things. And that momentum carries you into the next task.
That concept, the chain reaction, that feels like the perfect bridge into the rest of the day, maximizing your time.
Exactly, because we all have these moments of what you could call dead time.
Walking to the bus, waiting in line for coffee, washing the dishes.
Those are your golden opportunities. There's the whole strategy of multitasking for learning. You don't need to find more time in your day. You need to use your existing time differently.
So you're saying dedicate those boring moments to English, listen to a podcast while you walk.
Or music. Music is fantastic for internalizing the rhythm and pronunciation of a language without even trying too hard.
And if you want to turn up the intensity, you can do what the sources call self-narration.
Yes. This is where you literally talk to yourself in English and describe what you're doing.
So instead of just thinking I'm making coffee, I actually say it out loud. I am making coffee now. I am putting on my shoes.
It forces your brain to retrieve and structure sentences in real time. It speeds up fluency like you wouldn't believe.
Okay, but what about the crash, that dreaded afternoon slump? Around 2 or 3 p.m. when your energy just vanishes.
That slump is where so many bad habits live. because our willpower is at its lowest point. We reach for the easy fix.
So what are the good coping mechanisms?
First, use the language of recharging. You can literally say, I need to recharge, like a phone battery. And the best way to do that is with movement.
Get up, stretch, take a short walk to clear your mind.
Or take a real power nap. But keep it short, like 15, 20 minutes max.
I wonder about that, though. I mean, can busy people really justify a nap in the middle of the day?
The argument is you can't afford not to. That short rest prevents an hour of slow, unproductive work later on. It's an investment.
And what you eat plays a huge role here, too, right? The snack strategy.
A huge role. If you grab chips or candy, you get that rush of fake energy.
And then an even bigger crash an hour later.
Exactly. You want sustained energy. Fruit, nuts, something with protein. This whole idea of managing your physical energy, it leads right into the deeper psychology of habit change itself.
Because it's all about managing your energy and your willpower. Let's talk about the evening wind down. It shouldn't just be about collapsing.
No, it should be about restoration. Even the simple act of changing into comfortable clothes is a powerful trigger. It tells your brain, okay, the workday is done, time to shift gears.
The sources even frame cooking dinner not as a chore, but as a kind of active meditation.
Because it forces you to be in the moment.
Yeah.
You're focused on chopping, the smells, the process. You're not worrying about yesterday or tomorrow.
Okay, so after dinner, let's say you want to watch some TV. There's a really smart media tip here.
Yes. Watch with English subtitles. But, and this is key, not subtitles in your native language.
Why is that so important?
It's a total hack. You're hearing the correct pronunciation while you're seeing the correct spelling at the exact same time. That dual input makes vocabulary stick so much faster.
That's brilliant. Okay, so as we get closer to bed, there's the big rule we all know we should follow. No phone for at least 30 minutes before sleep.
The blue light. But just putting the phone down isn't enough. And this brings us to a huge concept, the replacement principle.
Okay, what's that?
You cannot just remove a bad habit. You have to actively replace it. If you stop scrolling, you suddenly have this 30-minute void. Your brain hates a void.
And it'll just fill it with the old easy habit.
It will. So you replace scrolling with reading a book, ideally in English. It helps the mind wind down, and you get better, deeper sleep.
But doing that consistently, that's the hard part. That's where discipline comes in, not just motivation.
And we have to draw a really sharp line between those two things. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and it goes. It's why you study for 5 hours on a good day and then do nothing for a week.
And discipline.
Discipline is a choice. It's doing your 20 minutes every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it.
But what about those days, that moment at 8 p.m. when you're tired and you just think, I don't care? How do you push through that?
You don't push, you make it automatic. The habit has to be so ridiculously small that it's easier to do it than to argue with yourself about it.
So if your goal is 20 minutes of study, but you have no motivation,
commit to 2 minutes, just 2. The real goal is to never break the chain, never have a 0 day.
That brings us to what might be the deepest concept from the sources, this idea of the identity shift.
This is where it gets really fascinating. They argue that habits don't just create results. They follow your identity.
What does that mean? Most people approach it backward, right?
Completely backward. We say things like, I want to learn English, or I want to exercise more. That focuses on the outcome.
The thing you want to get.
The sources say you have to flip that. You have to change your internal story. Change the person you believe you are.
So don't say, I want to be better at English. Say,
I am an English learner.
Wow.
If you see yourself as an English learner, what do you do when you get to the bus stop? You automatically put on your EnglishPodcast? It's just what you do. Your identity drives the choice, not your fleeting motivation.
That is a powerful idea. Let's make this real with a couple of stories. First, there's Maria. She said she was too busy to study.
And she was. She couldn't find any extra time, so she stopped looking for it. Instead, she took her 20-minute lunch break, which she used to spend scrolling social media, and she replaced it.
She replaced it with watching English videos.
And repeating phrases out loud. And in just 3 months, her conversational skills improved dramatically. She didn't find new time. She just repurposed the time she already had.
Then there's Tom, who is just terrified of speaking out loud.
Tom's commitment was so small it was almost funny. He promised to say just 1 sentence out loud in English every night before bed.
Just one. You can't make an excuse for that.
You really can't. And that tiny, unexcusable step built his confidence. 1 sentence became 5 minutes of talking to himself. And in 6 months, he was confidently recording a presentation for his class.
And to make that progress feel real, The sources say you have to track it, write it down.
Yes. Keeping a journal or just a piece of paper with check marks, it creates a streak. It's visual proof that you are the person who does the work. And you get to a point where you don't want to break the chain.
Okay, so let's boil this all down. What is the single most important piece of advice for someone listening right now?
Start small. I mean, ridiculously small. Don't try to change your whole life tonight. Pick one morning habit and one evening habit. That's it.
Build the foundation first, not the roof.
Exactly. Focus on that simple, persistent action.
We'll leave you with a quote that really stood out from all this research. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just compare yourself to who you were yesterday. If you're even 1% better, you're winning.
So we want to give you a challenge.
Right.
Right now. Make one habit so small and specific for tomorrow morning that you literally cannot say no.
Make it impossible to fail. So instead of a vague goal like exercise more, make it, I will do 10 push-ups right after I get out of bed.
Instead of just learn English, define it as, I will listen to one 10-minute English podcast while I eat my breakfast.
Commit to that one tiny, unexcusable change. And if you stick with just that one thing for 90 days,
The promise from all this research is that you will look back and you won't just have a new habit. You will have started to become a new person.
your small actions today are defining your identity for tomorrow. Make them count.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.